You know, I never paid too much attention to corrupt greatswords. I once did a video about Bloodhound's Fang, one of Kevin's favorite weapons, to show how to properly use the weapon. But other than that, they always felt a bit redundant to me. Like, if I wanted a hyper armor trading stick, weapons like Gax or the Anvil Hammer are much better, especially for invasions. And something like a Solitude Greatsword will be a better fast option with insane damage. But that was before using Freya's Greatsword. And it's pretty weird to me that I rarely see gamers using it because holy fuck, this weapon's strong. But why is it so strong? So Freya's Greatsword is a DLC curved greatsword, and since saying that is a bit hard to me, I'll just be referring to curved greatswords as... I don't know, caca maybe. But yeah, cacas are similar to normal greatswords in the fact that they are semi-fast, semi-strong weapons with decent hyper armor. Kakas have a very wide moveset, like all the attacks cover a very generous angle in front of you, unlike greatswords which tend to have vertical attacks on the light attack chain. Just like other great stuff, Kakas have hyper armor on their attacks, capable of tanking up to halberds, from what I've seen. Anything with great in the name will already break your stance. You will just try with them like this, like you're seeing here in the video. In the case of Freya's, it's not really the longest piece of caca out there. Anything from the Omen Cleaver upwards will outrange Freya's, like you can visually see it's shorter. And if you don't believe me, here's the hitboxes. You incredulous prick. And I know what you're gonna say.
But Ronnie, isn't range the most important thing in a weapon?
Well, yes, indeed, Betty. However, in the case of Freya's, you're forgetting something. Pega como padrastro borracho. Seriously, Freya's damage is huge. It's the strongest caca in the... Chat, I'm reading the script and I'm fucking dying here. It's the strongest caca in the game and by a large margin as well. Nearly 100 points of AR on a strength build. Higher than the dismounter, by the way. Which is one of the best cacas in the game because it's very long. And that's because Freya's has a huge strength scaling when infused with a heavy affinity. It's very normal to see very big numbers on any of Freya's attacks on big armor enemies. And since you can buff it with whatever, these numbers can get even higher. Let me show you some examples. This guy here was trying to hide on the high ground, but he didn't count on getting a bomba to his ass. Once he goes down, he gets hit once for a casual 700 damage,
Ouchie.
no biggie, and starts panic rolling, which causes his demise. Most gamers tend to panic roll after getting hit, so when you are expecting it, wait for them to roll once, and then adjust your roll catch for the second roll. It's much easier this way. Works every time, if latency allows it, of course. You can see me do that exact same thing with the second guide of this invasion, only with a crouch attack instead. Also the casual 1k damage heavy attack, Lamau. But yeah, he goes down. His mistake was not throwing a single attack. I don't know why people do that. Like, you have a weapon, press the attack button, do something. Don't just stare at me and die. Por favor, man. Media pila. Your weapon will stun me and annoy me, not allowing me to play comfortably. So just use it. Speaking of stunning, the hit stun of each attack is also pretty high, which allows you to easily do roll catches and frame traps with Flame Strike. As Flame Strike is considered a fast dash of war, and canceling into it is very fast, valga la redundancia.
Duh.
But before I show you the invasion, yeah, Flaming Strike is poggers. But you know what's even more poggers? A job. Like, it allows you to buy those saucy Steam games you love so much, or useless stuff that releases the funny chemicals in your brain. But I know getting a job is hard for gamers like you. Playing games or doom scrolling on your phone is just too addictive. So if you're gonna be glued to your phone anyways, instead of doom scrolling, try using Freecash. Freecash is a fun platform where you can earn money by playing mobile games, taking surveys, or testing new apps in your spare time. Be it on the bus ride home, waiting by the doctor's office, or going number 2 at your local Taco Bell. Which, let's be real, it's going to happen. Available in many countries for both phone and desktop with a 4.7 rating on Trustpilot, Freecash has a huge community of over 60 million satisfied users who have already received over $250 million in rewards, which can be withdrawn from 25 euros onwards on your first withdrawal. Then after that, any amount super easily via PayPal, Amazon gift cards, Visa, and many more options. It is as simple as signing up, picking your favorite task from a huge selection of 5,000, and start free cashing all over the place. I used to play solitary a lot on Windows Millennium as a child because I had no friends, but now I can get paid for doing so by playing Solitaire Clash on Freecash. Yay! It won't make you the next Steve Jobs in terms of economy, but it's nice for earning a few extra buckaroos now and then. So what are you waiting for? Stop doom scrolling your Gunnar Twitter feed already and sign up to Freecash using our personal link in the description below or scanning the QR code to get a €10 starting bonus as a gift. Make sure to enable your app tracking to ensure progress is recorded properly. Thanks to Freecash for sponsoring this video. On this one, we are in a very small room with two guys, and one of them has gags. It would normally be a very bad idea to fight a colossal sword with a curved greatsword, but fuck it, we ball in for the video. We throw a bomba to deal some damage and start blasting on the guy that gets close to us. We try to roll catch them with Flaming Strike, but the latency gives us a latency moment and the Flaming Strike misses. Luckily, we are able to get the guy not much longer after, so it's a 1 versus 1 now, against a stupid guy, as he named himself. We wait for that panic roll for the hit, but we guess wrong and the guy mashes instead of rolling, so we eat a hit. We roll away, wait for them to miss, and abuse the spacing exploit by slapping their face with our weapon when they miss. The roll catch fails because haha latency, but we manage to punish the heal with a running attack. And the obvious panic roll with a well-predicted Flaming Strike. Bolas carbonizadas. Yeah, carbonizar bolas is very nice. But what's even nicer is Kaka's other neat feature. Keeping priority. Priority means that continuing to attack after landing a hit is safe, as in, if your opponent mashes, you're not in danger of taking damage. This is because when you look at the frame data, Kakas can cancel to the next attack super quickly. This, combined with the high hit stun, prevents the enemy from doing anything, even with weapons that have hyper armor, like colossal swords. The hyper armor just doesn't come out fast enough. And this combines nicely with the roll catching properties of the heavy attack. If the enemy knows they can't mash, they will probably roll away. And this is nice because if you strike them with either a neutral or running light attack, then you block cancel, and then you do the heavy attack, it's a guaranteed roll catch. Let me show you a bit of all of that in the next invasion. In this one, I start on the high ground and I immediately notice the clusterfuck of shit going on. Knowing that jumping down would be a very bad idea. It's two guys with bleed stuff and their mimic tears. I could easily get blended in 2 seconds. So I try some bombas first, in an attempt to kill anything, but then my ADHD wins, so I jump down anyways. Don't be a goober, don't do this. I try to see if I can get rid of a mimic before they intercept me, but that strand goes exactly like what you would expect. Casi me rompen el orto. The correct strand would have been to use the golem arrows until the mimics were dead, since they don't really dodge much. But now I'm facing the consequences of my actions, and by facing, I mean running away like a little bitch to heal and using Bloodhound Step to try and gain some distance from the imminent bleed blender. Remember this whenever a PvE asks why invaders always run away from groups of players? Gee, I wonder why. I finally get to a spot with a distraction, so I try to engage while they are killing the ants, but the ants obviously go down fast and tragedy nearly strikes again. So, off to the 3 branches it is. Luckily the mimics have the IQ of your average Kevin, so one of them comically falls down. And then this guy approaches. After a missed bomba, dude gets a taste of why curved greatswords are priority monsters, eating a Flaming Strike right to the face and getting hyper armor bitch slapped when trying to mash. For some reason he doesn't dodge the last attack and dies, and the second the guy dies, what did our streamer here do? Because, like, he's a streamer, as you can see by his name. Yep, he pulls the plug on me. What a brave gamer. Speaking of brave gamers, how do Kakas fare against group of players? Well, if they are carrying smallish weapons, you can do just fine by trading into them. Freya's works best for that because of the insane damage, of course. It gets a bit more difficult if they are carrying weapons that can break your stance. But like everything, no single weapon can handle everything in invasions. Let me show you what I mean. I really like this one. And if you play Seamless, number 1 rule is to call for help when you are facing 3 guys. Don't be a dumbass. Don't just go against 3 guys by yourself if you can call for help. Unless you're an idiot, like me. But anyway, I do the 1, 2, 3 roll catch rule and I almost get the Crucible guy, but since the universe needs to protect vulnerable individuals, he survives on 2 HP. I accidentally throw fun daggers like a goober for some reason, and that's enough time to remind me that this is a story of gankers, where they are outplayed and eventually saved. See how easy can everything go south when you're fighting 3 guys? Yeah, it is that easy to lose, even against poor, unprepared PvEers. But I luckily managed to barely make it out alive. So now starts the turn and burn part of the invasion, where I run away and randomly turn back to deal some damage. And it kinda works. Bloody Riku takes a nice slap to the face for a delicious 900 damage, so then I proceed to finish them off with the Death Knight axes. Very important to keep a swap for these situations. Sometimes a singular weapon can't do all the work. So now we have 2 gamers instead of 3, and that's much more manageable. 1 more heavy attack and a swap to Death Knight Axis allows us to get rid of the Crucible guy, so only Mega Mind left now. And as you would expect, in a 1 versus 1, they don't last too long. 1 slap, 1 flaming strike for the delicious roll catch, and boom. Hasta luego. But that's not the end of the meme, you know? There was actually a 4th guy, which luckily wasn't with this trio right here. And he's gonna help me showcase to you guys why trying to use Torrent in PvP is a bad idea. Because you can dismount someone off Torrent with anything in 1 hit. That was a true combo, by the way. Being knocked down from Torrent makes all weapons deal a higher tier of hitstun on the first hit, so the next one will connect. So yeah, don't ride Torrent in PvP. Yeah, it's nice to keep like an assortment of weapons for different situations, like I always say. Hard swapping is not a crime, no matter what Reddit tells you. But yeah, on that one, we didn't get any help at all. So you kinda need to wait for opportunities and chip them away slowly. But what if we did get help? This invasion we are gonna see now is a different example of that 3 versus 1 invasion. I call for help and proceed to get close to them. I nearly get 2 of them, with both surviving on 2 HP, when the guy on Torrent nearly destroys the shit out of me with a lightning spell. This throws me completely off balance, and in my eagerness to chug some juice, they regroup and start chasing. It's already hard to run away from 3 people, but it's even worse when one of them is on Torrent, and even worse when they can just one-shot you so easily with some shit. Luckily, someone does answer or call for help this time before we get absolutely demolished, and this guy takes some of the aggro off our back, giving us enough time to send the Torrent goober back to the lobby. Then with my buddy, we get rid of the extra goobers super easily. Power of teamwork. Sorry for vanilla and console bros. This scenario must feel like one of those sweet dreams you hate waking up from. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. The weapon is extremely simple. It just has big damage and it's super strong. And as long as you know how to properly play with cacas, it's gonna perform super well. Some of you may think it didn't deserve or need a full video, and yeah, you may be right. But the reason why I made it is pretty simple.
I like it.